This is heavy. Okay, let's take a look at the keyboard today, shall we, guys? Haven60 starts at 320 bucks. Tons of different colors. There is a lavender, crimson, or sorry, I should say lilac plus lavender, silver plus crimson, silver, navy, and a bunch of other colors, black and white, and a gray copper. I just hope it sounds good. Honestly, I remember us using the original Haven. It had some small issues. Unfortunately, I don't have like a huge change sheet of what's been modified on the board. I kind of just have like a little general sell page here. So I guess we'll kind of go. I don't have the original Haven either. So let's open it up. Price point starting at 320 is really good. Now, one thing, if you guys remember, about all the Haven products by, I can't even pronounce this correctly. I don't know why. Atelier, whatever. I know I'm mispronouncing it. It's always been beautiful. The boards are gorgeous looking keys. In fact, I will say like they're quite unique. So I'm really happy this has a starting price of 320 for the stainless steel. Although I do think that the jump to copper being an extra $100 for, I guess, the mid piece, or I'm assuming, I guess we have to figure this out because I'm not exactly sure how some of these work, is quite expensive. And then there's an even more expensive one, which I think is an extra $50 on top of that, where it's kind of another, I think that's an HE one, I believe, although I'm not too sure exactly what that means, because it just says HE in front of it. Yeah, it is a beautiful keyboard. It is a beautiful looking keyboard. Let's take out some of the foam here. Prices go 320, 400, and 430. Oh, my conversions must be terrible right now, because my conversions from Hong Kong dollars say 420, 320, 420, and then 450. I think this definitely needs to be assembled for us to really take a better look at this. But like, sexy side profile. I mean, good looking keyboard here. You know, I think last time we built this, I had the PVD bottom. I will admit, the copper bottom is way prettier. Absolutely stunning seam on this. Little bit of a recessed USB-C cable. Lots of different layers here on the butt as well. Very cool. Got little Haven signature over here. We have some feet that we'll put on here in a moment. Yeah, lots of character. I think the only thing that I'm a little concerned of, which might depend on the switches you use, is it just has a copper internal over here, which, judging by, again, the history of me using copper internal pieces, even when they're stepped, I do find that full copper internal pieces end up sounding a little bit more, for lack of a better word, muted or dulled. But not every board's the same, so maybe this will sound a little bit brighter, but very pretty. We have some hidden screws here, so these will be underneath the PCB, or underneath the PCB plate combo, but very pretty. Silver is honestly one of the better colors for this board too. It looks gorgeous. So let's see, did Feather end up messaging me? Oh, here, little change list. Removed mounting spot under the space bar, thank goodness. And modified the symmetrical mounting points. Production units will have a pogo pin connector. Oh, okay, that's awesome. So we're not gonna have a ribbon cable. It'll be pogo on the final units. That is nice to hear. I really appreciate that. Because I was gonna say, I really was hoping they did away with the ribbon cable here, but very nice. Very nice. All right, what do we got here in the box? I can't tell what these are. I think these are gaskets. Let's see what else we got. We have a PE sheet, another extra ribbon cable just in case. We have a hot swap PCB and a solder PCB. The hot swap PCB is this one. And then we have a few different plates as well, although I don't know which is which. We'll have to open them up. What is this for? Is it all it is? Just in case your cable is too short for Type-C. Oh, I mean, that's a nice inclusion. Now, we're gonna use Milky Yellows today, because why not? Why not, dude? And then I think for the PCB today, I'm gonna do the solder PCB because, listen, I'm gonna give this keyboard its best shot right now, okay? So, I know what you guys are thinking. Alex, why would you say solder is the best shot? I just feel comfortable doing solder. I think solder, I hope I have enough solder actually, because my solder comes in, the rest of my solder comes in tomorrow. That's all I have left. I personally think solder variants of keyboards sound a smidge different, so I want to give it its best shot, okay? Now, I think I'm going to do gasket mount, because that's what I feel more comfortable doing today. I know you just want to stay longer with us. A little bit of that too. I just really want to spend time with you guys. I don't get why most of the new boards have copper weights or bottom. I much preferred brass for the higher pitch. I'm kind of on the opposite side of that. I actually don't think I notice a crap ton of difference between copper and brass in general, but I have been kind of curious as to why all these boards are doing like kind of, in some cases, fully standard all copper internals. I have no quarrels with foams. I don't really use foams much myself, but on occasion, I do like making a very foamy build. However, to be honest with you guys, I'm still kind of in that mindset where if a keyboard really wants to shine and to be a super good purchase for all-arounders, I think a keyboard needs to be good with and without foam. And it's easier to be good with foam than it is to be without. All right, here we go for the PCB. Again, these will have pogo pin connectors on it on the final unit. Lots of options. This is a WinKey or WinKeyless board though, so there's going to be a fixed 7U spacebar. That's the only fixed aspect of the solder unit here. Pretty nice, can't complain. Even ISO, which is nice to see. Like to see ISO on this. And then here is the PCB for hot swap. Other than missing ISO, this is actually pretty good as well. We have split back, split right shift, step caps. I mean, we're getting fixed bottom, but yeah, this is like pretty nice. It doesn't give you just a fixed layout and says, have at it. It gives you a bunch of different options as well. So pretty nice. All right, so this is the plate we're probably gonna use. This is the gasket plate here. Oh my God, please, open. Is there going to be a separate plate for ISO? Because I see no ISO compatibility with this plate. So it would be nice to see. I don't know if I saw that on the website at all. What's nice is they do give you both of these plates with purchasing. So you get 2 aluminum plates with your hot swap PCB. So that's nice too. ISO will have the plate file released. Okay, so you will get an ISO plate file released. Okay, so good for people who want that in the long run. Split or full? I'll leave it up to you guys, man. Always split, full. Some guy has a shit ton of GM keycaps. He posted. Most of them seem to be still wrapped, and people are saying he's has a shopping addiction. All right, let me see. I mean, so this is all of his keycaps. Let's just say each one's $100. How many? Actually, you know, fuck. That's just literally not the point. Like, you know why that pisses me off a little bit? Because if I were to go to any other hobbyist forum and post, hey, I bought my dream car and it's a Porsche 911 or something, you know? No one would say boo all other than maybe congratulations, you worked so hard. But someone like buys a bunch of keycaps and like over the course of, 5 fucking years. To me, this is just a lot of projecting. It's a lot of projecting. So at the end of the day, the most important lesson you're ever going to learn is there's different strokes for different folks. That's it. We all like different things. Instead of buying a bunch of budget stuff, I'm planning to get 3K string ray bass because that's what I really want. Yes, the age-old saying of buy once, cry once. I truly now understand that more than anything. It's also why I stopped buying. The more I hang out here, the more I want to order a Paper 80 in E-White. I've been eyeing. Ooh, Paper 80 was nice, man. Hey, if you have the disposable income right now, I don't see why not. I think this board looks really, really sexy. Let me zoom in like as much as I can here. That looks good, right? Beautiful side profile. I love what they did with the taper. This little seam area, but not really a seam, is like, it's so good. They did such a good job with the side profile of the Haven60. It is a slick keyboard, dude. What I really like about the Haven series though is just these beautiful thin side bezels. I'm always a sucker for as thin as you can get when it comes to side bezels. And it's not always possible, but dude, it looks great. No stepped internals, which I think is an interesting decision. So we're gonna see how this sounds. A little, not worried, but a little, maybe worried's a good word. Should we do purple? I think we should do purple, right? Let's do solid color. White? You think just white? White's cool. What about purple? I mean, that looks cool with purple too. All right. Let's see what this sounds like. Milky yellows, fully modded on aluminum plate. Gasket configuration. No foams. Okay. Ooh. Okay, there's a bit of metallic resonance on this, and I'm wondering if this needs to be force broken. I don't like the way that sounds at all. It's weird. I don't think it's on this side of the case, though. I wonder if... Yeah, I think we need to do something with force breaking this. So let's open this up and find out. Let's try that. Let's give it a little force break here. Let's see what happens. Can't guarantee anything, but you never know. All right, I'm gonna do one more just here and here. So let's see. Actually, maybe I should do one on the sides too, but those are really thin areas that I don't think are making much of a difference. Nice thing about this is a really easy build, so I don't see like tinkering with this to be much of an issue at all. But yeah, if all this needs is force break stickers, then this is an easy fix. Like that sounds really good like that. So let's see what these screws do now. So here it is with a little force break mod. And I want to take off these two gaskets here. Oh yeah, dude, this sounds so much nicer now. So much nicer right now. Yeah, it feels exactly the same. I do think this board has a naturally deeper tone simply because of the big giant copper piece on the bottom. I'm glad I was able to showcase the board in this light. I think it sounds really good as is right now. I do recommend Feather or whoever coordinating some little force break stickers for this. They don't have to be super long. In fact, I would almost suggest Feather to push for a really long force break sticker on the bottom and top. Really thin and really long just so you can plop it across the whole thing to really make this like isolate it. Just because of how many like small parts there are. For the designer of the board, my suggestion, and this is a purely preference-based suggestion, I would maybe consider doing some sort of stepped internals or just different shapes on the internals, not just leaving it completely flat. I think that will help the board breathe a little bit in terms of like sound signature. But if the intention is to have something a bit deeper in sound, dude, then absolutely this is nailing it. I don't think this is a boring, deep sounding keyboard. All right, guys, have a good one. Love you guys. I'll talk to you guys very soon, and stay safe, be happy, and eat some good food today. Bye, everybody. See ya. Love ya.